Aston's weekly availability. Today is December 10th, 2024. Roadrunners coming off a 79-36 victory over Sam Houston. And this week they're idle but busy next week, taking on Stanford, UT Arlington, and Texas State. Coach, if you could start us off with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Yeah, it's finals week for our team, so a little bit of a break from sort of the traditional routine. I like having a little bit of a break where we can work on some different things than always worrying about preparation for a game. It's been good to give them. We're off today. We were off on Sunday, so it's nice to give them a little bit of a breather after that trip to Puerto Rico, and then turning around and get ready to play it again. But obviously, thought processes are what you just said, which is that we turn around starting on Monday and have 3 games in 6 days. So a lot of preparation, just really physically, probably more than anything, just to get them ready for that grind.
You mentioned that trip to Puerto Rico, and as I was looking at the upcoming week, Stanford, that's a long way to travel. A lot of games and not so many days. Is making that trip to Puerto Rico and playing on back-to-back days, does that help with a stretch like next week?
It probably helps me, to be honest with you, more than the players. I think sometimes we all forget that they're just kids, and they recover from things a lot quicker than the adults do. And they love the games. Bottom line is players would rather play in games than they would in practice. So they're probably looking forward to next week. So, less practice, lots of games. The players love that. But I think reflection of Puerto Rico is just, it helps me in knowing that they can handle that type of travel. I was really concerned about the long travel day we had and how quick we had to play in Puerto Rico after we got there, but I thought our team responded very positively, and I think they'll be excited to wake up and play Stanford on Monday.
Jerry?
Yeah, Coach, good morning. I wanted to ask a little bit about Stanford. Just looking at their numbers on the statistics sheets this morning, and they're a 50% shooting field goal percentage shooting team, 41% from 3. I think they rank top 10 in both of those categories. What is it about what is their formula on offense that produces those kind of numbers?
Well, I think you have to have players that can make the shots. It starts with players. They are able to recruit, which lends to their system. They recruit players that can shoot and come into their careers already having that skill set, and then what they do offensively lends to that. They run a lot of motion, a lot of movement, a lot of actions is what I would call it, and it puts a lot of pressure on your defense to not make really minor mistakes that get one of them open for a clear 3-point shot. So I think that their system is really good, and the concepts that they run they're comfortable with, they're familiar with. Kate is a new coach, but she's been in that system for a long time, and they're comfortable with her. So I think that was a really seamless transition for Stanford and for her, and they're a reflection of that right now, that it's been a good transition.
What do you think about just the opportunity for your kids to play out there in kind of one of the iconic venues in women's college basketball, just the opportunity that they have here in this next game?
Yeah, it's interesting. We went to A&M, and obviously Joni is at A&M, but Coach Blair, who was a long time, obviously iconic coach in our game, came into our locker room and came in to talk to me prior to the game and talk to our players. And I thought that was a unique experience for them. I don't know that they know it right now, but they'll reflect on that back later on in their careers. And I think the same thing could be said for going to play in Palo Alto, which is just that even though Tara's not there, she built that program, and just to be able to play on a court that has her name on it, first of all, and play a team that has such a rich tradition and footprint on our game in general is a gift for our players. I mean, we don't take that lightly, and we appreciate the opportunity, and we'll try to make the most of it. I expect our team to be competitive. I'll be surprised if we're not. But I also think that this is just, the next 3 games, to be honest with you, are just games that we need to hone in on some specific things that we have to do better, and hopefully we'll do better to get ready for conference play. I mean, to me, everything about, and I said this after our game on Saturday, everything about the next 2 weeks, starting yesterday, is about certain aspects of the game that we need to get better at to get ready, for December 29th. So, again, the Stanford game is a piece of that, but it's not all of it. It's a great experience for our team, and we'll make the most of it.
Coach, what are your concerns about your team and the way you're playing right now? I mean, you put up some pretty dominant numbers yourself here in these last 4 games. I mean, your defense has given up next to nothing. What are the areas that you're, kind of bullet points that you want your teams to focus on here, over these next 3 games?
Well, I think number 1 will be challenged on Monday, and that's 3-point percentage defense. I think that's been an area of concern for me since day one, is that we really haven't guarded the 3-point line great. We've been better. We've improved in that area for sure, but I think it will be a huge challenge for us on Monday to make sure that they don't have a heyday on the 3-point line. So that's a concern of mine, just because when I look forward to some of the teams that are in our league, and I told our team this yesterday, there's a lot of really good shooting teams in our league. If you look at percentages and level of competition, it's not like they're not playing anybody. It's a concern of mine. So I think that's an area that we really have to get better at, and it's a conscious effort. It's not necessarily schematic as it is just as much of a conscious effort to contest and get your hands up and try to understand personnel. That's a little bit of it, but we just have to do a better job of that. So that's one really, I think, glaring area for us. Offensively, I'm not real pleased with our rebounding right now. I don't think we've done a great job on the boards at all. But we'll keep working it in all these areas. I mean, we're not nobody's a finished product right now. So I think those are just some things that we need to get better at.
Coach, you guys have had so much growth in your program over the past few years. You keep setting the bar for different things. You're on a 7-game winning streak. The start you're on is the best start for the program in a lot of years, and all these, last year's trip to the WNIT and all that, the first and however many years that's been since the team played in a national tournament. But it's I was curious to see if you just your thoughts on the program playing against these opponents in the power conferences. It's been a long time since the Roadrunners won a game against a power conference opponent. I believe that's 2010. And you know what? I looked at it today. It's the last game that the UTSA women have won against a power program was on December 16th, 2010. So that would be, to the date. The question is, what would it mean to your program to win a game at Stanford and to win, and to finally break that streak again? There's a long losing streak against power programs that UTSA is on. To be able to break that at Stanford, what would that mean to your guys going forward?
Yeah, I think I need to just schedule a lot more teams so that we have our odds start getting better than just scheduling a couple. No, I'm kidding. I think we can't get ahead of that. I'm one of those coaches that I always I visualize things, and you do want your players and your own self to visualize winning. There's no question about that. That's part of sports, and part of being successful is to actually see it and believe it. And I, to me, it's a barometer. If we win, great. If we play well, great. If we don't play well, we got to go back to the drawing board. I mean, like, this is it's a test, just like they're taking this week. It's not a final. They're taking finals this week. We're just taking a pop quiz, a test on Monday. And then we take another one on Thursday, and then we take another one on Saturday. And that's just how we have to look at this. And what do we do with these tests? How do we approach them? What's our mental and physical approach to the game? That's what I'm more interested in than whether we win or lose. I'm interested in, just like I was when we went to A&M, just like I was when we got off the plane and had a really quick turnaround in Puerto Rico. Like, I'm real interested in how our team responds. What is their mindset? How do they approach the game? Do they believe they can win? Do they play it like they think they can win? And what happens from that is, sometimes in your control and sometimes it's not. But I'm more interested in how we're approaching every day. I think I said this, I didn't think our approach to practice last week was great. I thought that yesterday's approach was way better, and that's what I'm looking for. Like, how can the teams that I've been a part of that have won championships, their approach to every day was the same. And when I look back on all those teams, like, every team, when you think about it, there was this moment in the year where they had it figured out how to practice and what the approach was to practice. And we haven't quite gotten there yet. We're close. We have days that look like we're there, and then, we go backwards a little bit. But to me, that's the common denominator in championship teams, is how they approach practice. And there's never this timeline as to when they figure that out, but all of them figure it out. And I'm anxious to see, like, what's our journey with that, and how do we keep figuring that out.
Coach, do you think you'll have Nye available to play on Monday?
Not sure yet. Making progress for sure.
Okay.
All right, that'll wrap things up. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks.
Have a good week.
All right.